Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori. If you're new here, I'm coming to you super late night, but I needed to jump on and do this brief introduction. So if you are new here, hi, hello. My name is Tori. We make preparedness videos on a budget. And my last video, I didn't really do a deep dive into preparedness. I just did a brief touch upon it, and I felt like that video just didn't give you the full gist if you're new to being prepared for any emergency. And I feel like a lot of us are. So I wanted to go over my favorite preps to have for, just like I said, any emergency. I feel like these are attainable for just about anyone. We prepare for any circumstance, and this year is gearing up to be a very surprising one, and I think everyone needs to be prepared. So unfortunately, over the years, preparedness has been looked down upon. Preparedness has fallen under a more political category, and I never wanted that to happen, but I am still staying strong in my positivity for preparedness and why I think everyone should be prepared. So I have a lot on my list, but I've really just tried to break it down to under 10 things that people can do to be prepared in any event. Honestly, it could be anything, and you could, take a shot for every single time I said that, but I feel like it's attainable. I feel like it's important, and I'd love to know some of the things on your list that I am forgetting on mine. Without further ado, I'm going to get you turned around, show you what we're working with, and if you're new here, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. So let's get into it.
We are starting off strong with my favorite prep, water.
Have enough water for at least 3 days. Have a way to filter it. Have a way to carry it in case you need to go out to a body of water and then gather it. Have a way to clean it, like I said, so a water filter or some sort of tab to put in there. And find a natural spring near you. It's always linked in my description box, but you can go on a website and find one, and then find a vessel to fill up on. Of course, you can keep water in plastic. That's an easy way to do it, but I have found glass water bottles at my local discount store, and I've been stocking up on that. You can also stock up on different types of larger filtration, so you could find like an IBC tank or something like that. There is a lot of different ways you can go with this. I encourage everyone to look into a water source and go about your day. Take 24 hours and figure out every single time you use water. And on the subject of liquid, and since we have this beautiful shot here on the screen, I did want to mention other liquids that you could keep on hand. Coffee, tea, anything you need to get you through your day. I suggest stocking up on liquor. You don't have to drink it, but there's a lot you can do. You can clean with it. You can also make tinctures for medicinals if you grow anything in your backyard. I've gotten some questions recently on that. What if I don't have space to garden? That's absolutely fine. I get some dried herbs and some fresh plants from Mountain Rose Herbs. I think they're a phenomenal brand. They're organic, non-GMO, and no yucky stuff in some of their dried herbs. Don't have a discount code, just really enjoy them. Next on my list, when it comes to moving from liquids, I'm going to say some food. So you can home can food like this shot right here, or you could buy some canned items. Be leery of things stored in aluminum or steel. I suggest stocking up on, just about everything, just so you can quickly cook items. Of course, dried items are important, and they will be coming up here soon, but think about canned proteins, canned vegetables, even canned fruits. But on the subject of that, you can home can a lot of different items. Do not be afraid of home canning. You are smart enough to do it. Honestly, I was so hesitant until I learned that it's such an amazing process, and it saves you a lot of money and then time in the kitchen. So this doesn't have to come from an emergency standpoint. Think of times where you are going paycheck to paycheck and you don't have enough cash or time to go to the grocery store. Think of times where you just may be busy and you need to get dinner on the table. So we briefly touched upon this next topic that I think everyone should be prepared with, and that is going to be a way to cook the food that we were just talking about. So you could, of course, eat some of this canned food just cold in the event of an emergency, but just just because you are in an emergency doesn't mean you can't enjoy your food. So find a way to cook that food. We like this camp stove here. It doesn't require anything but starting a fire, and it cooks things pretty quickly. So you can find these at thrift stores. You can find them online, but just a way to cook simple meals is great to have. I would love to hear your favorite way of cooking without power in the comments down below. Next on my list is a tricky subject, but it's going to be self-defense. Very important to have in the event of an emergency.
Self-defense, it's very hard for me to chat about this kind of subject just because I get shadow banned a lot. So if you use your imagination, you probably know what I'm talking about. But with self-defense comes education and experience and practice. And it's so important to continue that practice, even if you are an expert. It's so important to continue your education on self-defense because things are always changing. So I encourage everyone to find something that they're comfortable with to defend themselves in any situation. It is your responsibility and your right to be able to do that. If you think that some threat is going to stop and think about whatever it is that they were planning to do to you while you sit there and chat about it, I'm here to tell you realistically that's probably not going to happen.
Next up, we're going to have some medication and first aid. Very important to have, and whatever that looks like to you is what you're going to need to stock up. I haven't said it in this video, but every preparedness item should be individual to you. Just because I'm saying it on a list doesn't mean you have to get the exact same thing that I have. So I have a bunch of antibiotics here that a company sent me, but honestly, we are more natural. We like to take the natural remedy route. So I'm growing a lot in my garden to use as medicinals for myself and my family, but I did want to give you that visual to stock up on medications if you have some sort of pharmaceutical that you or your body or your family is dependent on. So very important to have that. And then just your basic first aid. So bandages, a way to clot the blood, a way to stop the blood, a tourniquet is always a good thing to have, and some sort of way to treat the wound and keep it clean. And then, you can go a step further by having other items depending on what you want to have. Next on my list is a means of communication, and this is really where I get a lot of pushback because a lot of people think that I'm instilling fear, and that has never been something that I approach on my channel. I talk about realistic preparedness, and grid down situations are very real. A way to communicate is important. Just think what you would do without access to your phone. Our phones, for most of us, is our lifeline, unfortunately. So we use it as communication, but we also use it as ways to get information. So figure out a way to have that information on hand by, printing out things from the library for free, whether that be maps of your city, it could be recipes, it could just be simple emergency procedures for your family and yourself to have. But means of communication is important, especially in this day and age. So walkie-talkies are great to have for short distance, but I would consider investing in a ham radio. I will link one in the description box if you ever want to know what I have. I will just link it for you, but I'm sure you could find someone out there that has one, or a thrift store once again. So moving on in, this is something that I always put in just, for the sake of it. You will need to have something to barter with. I think gold and silver is a good investment, and I think everyone should stock up on it given the current economy and the sad state of our currency. So going right into the next list, sorry, this is kind of rapid fire just because I'm testing out a certain type of video, a length of video that can be attainable for everyone, because believe it or not, YouTube is a long form content website, but I get it all the time that the videos are too long, and I get that people want their information fast. They are conditioning us to do that, hence why TikTok and Instagram Reels and all of those short form videos are just going viral. But pay attention to your attention span and what it's doing to your brain and just your mental health in general. So I am moving on into a way to power your devices. So I have a Jackery little power station here, and anything works. Any small power station that you can keep with you that you can charge with solar is great. So I brought the kids up here to Estes Park and we were testing it out. We have great sun here in Colorado, so solar really works for us. And if you can find something inexpensive to just invest in for the event of a rainy day, I think you will be just fine. Honestly, a power station can power a lot of different things, but you really have to just work with what you have and what your family has and what's important to you in the event of that emergency.
Alrighty, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope this gave you a good inside scoop on what to do in the event of an emergency and what you can have on hand to give you that peace of mind. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new. Don't forget to let me know what you would be putting on this list that maybe I have forgotten. I love that you all are here. Stay safe out there, stay positive, and absolutely just keep your surroundings in the forefront of your mind. It is so important to be prepared physically and mentally. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, y'all.